today.
Hello there, so we're back with another Journey Guide solo journey event, and we're going to be taking on the Chewbacca event, which is called One Famous Wookiee, and it's a legendary event. I would suggest Gear 12, and so because of that, what I'm going to be doing is mainly using the Gear 12 characters I have here, and then showing off which ones work best. I might try and do the Gear 11 characters, what I've got there. The Gear 9 characters are just not going to survive the opening hits, unfortunately, and if you've not played this event, I'll show you the reason why. If you have, then you know the reason why. So let's have a look at the Chewbacca lore. So we've got the Chewbacca lore there. Not actually that much lore, I'm very surprised. So we've got a lot of his abilities on here, and if you click on them, then you can find out what each ability does. Very, very useful. And then if we click on the head, it will take you to your unlocked or locked Chewbacca. I've got all of the Zetas and all the abilities maxed. I've done an awful lot of health on Chewbacca, and as you can see, look at all that stacked health and protection. Very, very beast of a Wookiee there, and I've got 35% tenacity just to make him a little bit more difficult, and just a little bit of damage output. Personally, I'll probably want to have a little bit more damage output, but I've only modded mainly Chewbacca for Grand Arena. There's a lot of pros and cons of doing pure damage output versus pure health, and it seems to be health is a little bit more beneficial in player versus player events. With that said, player versus players modding, I would probably stick with that because it's actually quite useful for AI battles as well, when you're battling the computer, that is. Here we are, we're on tier 7. Now, the first tier again is this prerequisite, and so it is a little bit gated, this event, which I didn't actually appreciate that it was gated, but there you go. So be prepared for anything, basically, on tier 7 here. So we'll go into the shop actually before we go into battle. What do we have here? We've got 4 packs. Okay. Well, as always, if you're regular of watching this series, is that I recommend that you don't ever buy these character shard packs. If anything, I would spend on gear, but again, that's really up to you, and it's, again, you don't really probably want to be spending money on a mobile game. Let's have a look at the bounty hunters that we've got to use. So what we're going to use is this 5 here, and we're going to start off with Bossk Lead, and then we're probably going to do this once or twice, and then we'll then start mixing up all the different leads, and then I might, because this might take several attempts to actually get like a perfect run, I might not be able to talk in all of these attempts, so there'll probably be a few where I'm not being able to comment, basically. It's going to be a lot of editing for me, basically, and it's not going to be very fun. Let's have a look at the mods, at least, and I'll show off these 5. These are the 5 I would definitely recommend for this event, and also, just in general, this 5 works in so many events that it's untrue, and I would just say, get these 5 guys and you'll be set. So, let's have a look at Bossk. Here is Bossk, all the abilities, both of the Zetas on the, I believe it's the Hunt and the Trandoshan Rage. Here is the mods that I've got. It's pretty decent, a lot of tenacity. Now, it's not perfect because I would suggest that you wouldn't actually have crit damage on the triangle. Unfortunately, I don't really have one with protection, and also, as you can see, it's got 17 speed, so I was a little bit sort of, I want the speed, but I don't want the primary stat, and the secondary stats are okay, apart from the speed, which is fantastic. So I was shoehorned into having to use that mod, and I wouldn't recommend it. I would not recommend it. You want this guy to be very tanky. So 115 speed overall, very decent. 95% tenacity, fantastic. A little bit of damage output and no crit chance, absolutely fine. Totally fine to do that mod wise. Let's have a look at the next character. So we've got Karga here. So he's got, I think, 1 or 2 Zetas, I can't remember. All the abilities are maxed. We've got health and speed sets because you want this guy to be trying to heal up the team whenever the situation arises. So you want him to be pretty speedy. A lot of protection to really cover him. A little bit of tenacity so he doesn't get stunned, so he can then still heal up the team. And a little bit of damage output as well. Main thing again is speed. Here we've got Boba Fett. I'm a little bit and ahhing about how to mod Boba Fett because you'd want him to be survivable, but also you want him to be a threat. It's trying to come up with a very careful balance of making him last versus him being actually quite ruthless. Now the potency is okay, and that is mainly for the death from above. I want as many ability blocks on the opponents as possible. So you could potentially replace the health mod sets that I've got with potency just to make him much more lethal. But then if you remove the health mods, he's a little bit more susceptible to being taken out a bit quicker. Very, very annoying, and it's a bit of a conundrum. I'm still not really settled on the best mods for Boba Fett. Here we go, we've got Jango Fett. I haven't got the Zeta on his leadership, but I do have the Zeta on the Notorious Reputation. And that is very important for defeating enemies, and then they can't then be revived. I've got a lot of offense and crit chance. That is because of the flamethrower ability, and it is basically true physical damage. That is what it's being based off. So just like HK-47, you want him to be doing true damage as much as possible. So there's no point putting crit chance and crit damage on. 800, probably not the best, but if I can get 6 dot mods on, it'll be much better. Crit chance is actually fairly okay, and yeah, you don't really need any potency or tenacity, I would say. Speed is perfectly fine, and the protection is just to make him more survivable. Here we've got the Mandalorian. Now, you want to be using the swift shot as much as possible because it gains turn meter. I believe him and other bounty hunters. Here we go. That's the here we go. So every time that he scores a crit hit, he gains 30% turn meter plus a bounty hunter allies gain half. And I've noticed that with the basic ability, very much more often to happen. That is the main reason why he's got modded quite a lot of crit chance and crit damage, because you want him to be heavy hitting and also a turn meter producer for the team. So he's a little bit like the Imperial Troopers. There you go. Maybe 34% is maybe a little bit too over the top. With the special ability being on 44% overall, I think it's a good payoff. And also definitely get the Zeta. I think the Zeta, was it on the payout? And definitely very recommended. So with all that said and done, we'll go in for this tier here.
I does what I likes and I likes. I does what I likes and I likes. What I do. I does what I likes and I likes.
In we go. So, Chewie, over here. Rah. Okay, right. Yeah, this is the opening round shots I'm talking about. As long as you can survive this, you're all set and dandy. Right, let's try and get a massive swarm. So Karga is going to be healing up everybody with his basic. Let's try and call him in again, because look at this. There we go, we've got the payout. Yeah, see, maybe that's where I need a little bit more potency. Not that many ability blocks set. Let's try and do that. Okay, I was actually rather hoping that would be enough. Okay, right, I need to get the taunt. There we go, we've got the taunt. Let's heal up, everybody. Let's... okay, let's just... It's a bit of a waste, but I just needed that one done. Right, there we go. This is where Mandalorian comes in. Very, very handy. Take out Chewbacca. There we go. And then, unfortunately, there is no double tap from Jango Fett, but that's fine. Let's do that. Okay. Let's call in everybody. Again, I know it's overkill, but it should be fine. Oh, there we go, the good rocket. And then we'll do this. Let's just do that for fun, and then we should be done and dusted. There we go. Look at that. Fantastic 5. Wow, look at that. All of those leadership abilities on all of those Gear 20 characters worked. I'm over the moon that I got to show you that they do work. It did pay off in the end. It's obviously taken a fair few attempts. I'm really hopeful that you found this event guide useful, and also it gives you the motivation to actually go, you know what, those 5 are just fantastic, let's just give those guys up, and then you've still got all those different options to use for clearing this event. But definitely the Bossk Lead is by far the best ability to use, and it comes down to RNG. As you can see, you've got to get the right RNG for this event for all of these abilities to then be able to work. So one famous Wookiee is definitely one very annoying Wookiee event, and thank God it's only one Wookiee event. So we've only got 2 more tier 4 events left. I'm looking forward to one of them, and the other one I am not looking forward to. And then we go on to tier 5, which again I'm looking forward to one, not looking forward to the other one. So until next time, may the Force be with you.
Always with you, it cannot be done. It's like doing